All right. Okay, so we're going to be recording video, but then let's get some audio in here. Three, two, one. Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud. And this is All Stars 2, Episode 5. Old Tina Can't Come to the Phone. Well, first of all, they're not calling it All Stars 2. They're just calling it All Stars. Because actually it should be called like All Stars 3, right? Technically? Yeah. And apparently the cast for the next All Stars is out. So I should probably discuss that. If it's real, if it sticks. Because I've seen the list before, and then it turned out like a lot of people aren't able to continue on with the show. So let's burn through this episode really quick. I only have like that many notes for this, just to get it out of the way. I'm late as it is, and I just want to. I don't know. I still like the show, but I only have so many notes. So let's see what it says. Three Kings: Tech, Laterian, and Nehemiah. Yeah, they're like, hey, this is a thing now. We kind of knew that before because it's basically the alliances are divided by rooms. Like because the other room is like Darrell, Kahada, Janae, Brad, MJ. I think it's just that's how it goes. Like you have to choose your rooms wisely because then that's your alliance, no matter what it seems. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then they do. This is not about what I'm about to discuss. It's just the next note that I have. I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, way to change gears. But they do discuss, especially Tech. I think Tech brings up, he's like, hey, let's bring in Steve. The poor guy. He's only done one challenge. That was the Gauntlet, and he's been gone for like 18 years. So he hasn't established those long-running friendships in the house. Like a lot of people haven't been around for a long time. But even then they did more than one season. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It's Tech who reaches out to Steve. And then, to jump forward a little bit, that's, when Steve is like, oh, call it self-preservation, but I'd rather go against Tech than against the other dude. And that breaks Tech's heart. You see that in the voting process. He's just like, I'm going in or whatever. Like it's very effective. This whole Three Kings, man. The only Three Kings I know of are, wait a minute, isn't that a thing? The movie, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, someone else, George Clooney, yeah. Moving on. Let's just get through this. Oh my gosh, this is why I was stalling. Melinda's little it's a huge tragedy. Like it's so oh my gosh, like she lost her baby and then she had to like go to the hospital knowing to have a C-section and have her child removed. And then tomorrow is going to be the anniversary of that or something like that. Or when she should have came to term properly in the 9 months or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking nuts. It's a real gut punch, of reality, which is what this show used to be of a little bit, nowadays, what do they got to talk about? They're like, I like music and I like to dance. You know what I mean? Like that's all they have to say. Now it's serious shit, adults living in the world sort of stuff. Yeah. Maybe it's just too real. Bring a little bit too much of the real world into the show. Yeah, it was nuts. But, MJ was there to support her and John A seems to be like the most supportive person in the world. Like she's, you know, but authentic. You know what I mean? Like, you always see, like, Anissa, like, crying. Like, if Anissa was there, she'd be crying as well. And, like, making sure that the camera saw her hug Melinda. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad she's gone. She's not here. It's terrific. I'm just trying to put a light spin or throw some light ups because of this dark crimson news. It's just, yeah. I don't know how to come back from that, really. But let's bounce back. In fact, with the mission called Bounce Back, it's pretty sweet. It's like the trampolines, like you leap in ascending, like up stairs of trampolines. Then you have to, like, knock down those carts with the numbers on them, one at a time, typically, because you have to, like, land in the water. You take the piece, and then you have to solve this giant math problem. This looks cool. I don't know if I would have done very good because I really, like, it's so annoying, and but you know, I'm really bad at math, but not necessarily bad at math. I just don't like math. You know, when it comes to, like, hey, how's your math? You know, because you want to work at here, so you got to take this math test. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to suck. I don't suck. I just don't like doing it. It's a lot of work, you know? So I feel like when Tech did his thing and he was pissed off because he was like, it took me fucking two extra minutes or something like that. He was just really mad at himself. That would have been me, where I'm like, the jumping thing, I got the jumping thing, you know? But for those who did win, it was Darrell and Jody. That's pretty sweet. Jody, I mean, the last time we saw her, she established herself as, like, one of the greatest challengers of all time, you know? Like, just fucking flawless. And here she is winning again. And then we have Melinda coming in last. It's crazy because it should have been Casey. I mean, Casey quit. I remember Casey quitting a lot. And that's one thing that she hasn't shaken off, you know. She's still a quitter, yeah. Because I think she landed pretty badly too. Like, some of these falls were pretty bad. It didn't seem that high until, I guess, you realize, well, you're jumping up and then you have to grab this thing. So you're really, yeah, it's throwing you off. You're not just, like, kind of jumping into the water. You're jumping out and then you're landing into the water and stuff. So it's all awkward. And it hurts Melinda. She's fucking, I don't know if she got the wind knocked out of her or what, but freaked her out. She hit her head really bad, I think, as well. And then she went to did she go in the ambulance? I don't remember. But she was there afterwards. And then Steve gets last. Steve fucking in an error, a mind error. Which will happen again in elimination, jumping forward, you know. He goes after two cases at the same time. I think it wasn't against the rules. I thought he was instantly DQ'd. But I think he was able to, it was suggested. They're like, do one at a time, because you could only bring in one at a time. So then when he knocks down those two pieces, one piece is floating off, you know, taking off, and while he's just swimming to throw the other one on the beach. So yeah, it wears him out. It's a bad call, and we'll see that jumping forward, where it's like, well, it wasn't a bad call, but, like, yeah, this lapse in judgment, this little mind miss, you know, because when he misses the target for the elimination and shit like that. But yeah, Melinda and Steve are last. Casey pretty much quit, but Melinda fell and had to stop before Casey eventually stopped. So Casey's safe. Okay, so after that, Darrell and Brad and Jody form an alliance, man. Brad is there, and he's just, like, literally saying, okay, so this is an alliance, right? You know, he's just coming out and saying it. And he's like, Jody, I know Derek's gone, but I will gladly take you. You want to continue winning and stuff. We could take each other to the end, and Darrell's there. Why wouldn't you align with him as well? Like, that's a powerful alliance. I thought Brad was already in that alliance with Darrell in his room, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Okay, so nominations. This is that little technique that Steve came up with, getting used again with Darrell and Jody. They put in Ayanna first because just so she has to burn her vote, which she doesn't like. She's like, I wish I could have used this to save the people that I want to save. And Brad's sitting there, he's like, well, I just want to say I'm not going to use my thing, Yeah. I get it, though. Ayanna is... I would be annoyed as well, but it's been established. The rules been put in place. Previous episode by Steve. Okay, so then they do nominate Casey, and they do put in Tina, because Tina put in Jody. Makes sense. And then Tyler and Tech. Yeah, those are the nominations. So Tyler's been getting put in a lot. But I don't think anyone dislikes him. I really think that he. What did Steve say? He's like, I want to put Tyler in there because he's got the girl vote. No one's actually going to vote him in and stuff like that. So, so Tyler and Tech are getting put in, and then eventually, Steve does say, I prefer to go against Tech instead of Tyler. Maybe had Steve never said that, I don't think they would have put in Tech. You know what I mean? Like, I think, or Tech never would have said, sure, I'll go in or whatever. Maybe it would have changed the tides, because Steve already said last episode, Tyler is safe. No one's going to put him in. Oh. Well, maybe it's not. Damn it. Well, then maybe it was him trying to say, I'd rather go in against Tech because it's going to happen anyways. I don't know. That is weird. It's very flawed. And again, that's Steve. Steve, like, he made so much sense in the previous episode, and now he's gone this episode because of all these weird little decisions that he makes. Okay, so Tech, he's like completely downtrodden, and he doesn't care anymore when he gets to the nominations or whatever, or the actual voting, but then Tina is getting pissed more and more, and eventually afterwards and this was so annoying, she just like bangs some pots together to get everyone's attention, and it's like, listen, it's out of it's the old Tina or something like that. I don't know. It was very annoying. The whole pots and pans thing. I was like, damn, like, way to return to the old Tina, because she was kind of saying like, I used to be this way or whatever, So I think no one engages. No one really says anything, and she just kind of walks away. So in elimination, it's called switchback. You run across from each other, kind of like hall brawl in a way, because you do get to like clash, but you have to like press the button to turn off their lights, and you have to have at least two of your lights on or something like that. So the first part is fun. I think the men go first. Tech defeats Steve. It starts off pretty fun, actually. I like it. Fucking Tech like shoves Steve, and then Steve shoves Tech, and this was cool. I like this back and forth. I really did, because I actually like both these guys. And Steve, he misses that button. He didn't turn it off, and he keeps running for the other thing, and yeah, it's too bad. So maybe I just think of Zoolander, except he's the hand model. He's the David Duchovny smart hand model that should put his hands in glass casings. So he should have been like, why hand models, afterwards. It would have tied everything together, Steve. And then he's leaving, and he's like, see you again in another 18 years. That is both funny and, like, who knows, maybe it's factual. He's like, listen, I showed up, and I didn't click with anyone, like, but it wasn't true. I do remember he did have Katie. And Katie was like, use your brain, Mr. Hand Model. He's like, all my brains are in my hands. I think with my hands. I don't know. It sucks. I want Steve to come back. I really enjoyed him. He was just messing up left and right. I don't know. It's nuts. Okay, so let's get into Melinda defeats Tina. Oh yeah, Tina. So they honk the horn. TJ starts the horn or whatever. Melinda starts jogging to get her thing. Melinda's going in here like never won an elimination ever. But Tina, like, when it starts, she just walks in the middle, and then like takes 2 pans. She should have done that. That would have been perfect. But she doesn't. She didn't have the pan. She's like, I'm not gonna try or whatever. And yeah, it sucks. I think, does she say it on the show or afterwards, like in an article? I'm not really sure, but she's done. She quits, but she was like, I didn't like what I became. I don't want to become that old Tina again. As easy as it was to pick up those pans, she was just like, no, it was an ugly scene. I don't want to go back to that. And it's really cool. It's TJ would say like, oh, I fucking hate quitters and shit like that. And some people do, and I can hate quitters as well. But I think Tina's reasoning was that she was like, hey, I used to be horrible when I was younger, like, but now I don't want to be that way anymore. I'm a mom now and shit like that. So it was interesting. It was another like gut punch of reality, not as severe as the Melinda thing. But it was also very interesting, where it's like, Tina quit. Tina, you were put on the poster of this thing. It's Darrell, you, and MJ for some reason. He probably wins. Why would you put him up there anyways? Yeah. Yeah, it really threw me off, because I'm like, holy shit, Tina, you're on the poster. Like, this is awesome. And then to quit was like a swerve, curveball. But I wasn't mad for why she did it. It takes a mature mind to realize another person just doesn't want to return to those old ways. She's like, no, I don't. Imagine that if you had video of yourself being like a complete asshole, and then you pick up a pot and you pick up a pan and you're like, oh God, no. Well, you're banging them together. You're like, no, this is the harbinger of being a complete crotch, So no, thank you. So I don't know. I could imagine that. I mean, I used to be fucking terrible. Well, not terrible, but I had my moments of being just a complete fucking jerk when I was like in my early 20s, Yeah. And now I'm no longer in my 20s, I'll just say that. And I am so much more nicer to people. I have no desire to be a fucking prick anymore. So, yeah, it would be like that. I completely identify, and you know what? All the notes are gone, and the show's been great. I can't wait for the next episode. So, like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.